Today we're going to do our 1 year, 40,000 mile review of the Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive.
Welcome back to E-Hermes, your electric adventure travel channel. Please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content.
Yes, it's hard to believe, but we've had it for just about a year, and we managed to put 40,000 miles on it, almost to the day. So some general observations are, putting that many miles on it, I find it to be very comfortable to ride in. Mrs. E-Hermes thinks the seats are a little bit stiff. I kind of like them that way, but I can see why some people would want maybe a softer, plusher seat. But I find them to be very supportive, and I believe they're going to hold up for the long run.
While I generally am in one of the two front seats, I have ridden back here a few times in the past, and I found it to be very comfortable. We've also taken some friends with us on some multi-day trips, and they have been very complimentary about the comfort of the back seats for at least two adults. You could flip this up and get a third person in there. Might be kind of tight, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. I've also ridden back here in the third row on a couple of occasions, and while it is pretty tight, it is acceptable for short distances. I think the real goal for this seat would be a family that's maybe picking up children from ball practice. They have one extra kid they need to get home. You would never put a child in a car that didn't have enough seat belts, but here you could wedge them in the back seat back here, get them home, and do so legally and safely. When using the third row seat, I will say that the luggage space in the back is pretty minimal. I'm not going to go through all the features of the car because there have been countless videos that already take care of that. But I do want to touch base on one aspect that I find particularly interesting that I seldom hear mentioned, and that is the headlights. Now, these are the standard headlights they are coming out with, may have come out with since this car was built, a newer, even better headlight. I find these headlights to be tremendous. They are bright, they are white, but yet when meeting cars, they do not blind other drivers. Whenever I get in another vehicle now that has non-LED headlights, it always seems like the alternator is not working right because the lights are so yellow and dim. So I'm not sure these lights are any brighter, but the whiteness that they give out definitely makes a huge difference.
So yes, we managed to put 40,000 miles in 1 year on our Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive. In doing so, I believe that we saved about $4,000 in gas. I believe I would have spent $4,800 in gas on a similar sized internal combustion engine vehicle, getting 25 miles to the gallon at $3 a gallon. Now we know that recently it's gone much higher than that, but I'll be conservative. And I believe I may have spent up to $800 in electricity. Again, it's much cheaper at home, but I had a pretty good mix of supercharging to drive that much in a year. So we'll say $800, so we saved $4,000 net. What about other costs? Well, we had 0 oil changes. In 40,000 miles, I would have changed the oil 8 times. Conservatively, at $50 an oil change, that's another $400. Also, there are engine air filters. I'm not talking about the cabin air filter. I'm talking about an internal combustion engine, the combustion air intake filter. Probably would have replaced that twice in this time frame. Let's say that's another, I don't know, $25. So that's $50 more. So now we're up to $4,450. To make the math easier, let's call it $4,500. So those are the things we didn't spend and the money that we saved. Now let's talk about the outrageous expenses we did incur, because we had to not once, but twice purchase 1 gallon bottles of windshield washer fluid at $2.50 a piece. That's $5 we spent. Now, admittedly, we likely would have done that at least that much in an internal combustion engine vehicle as well. But my point is, in 40,000 miles of driving, the only real ongoing maintenance expense we had were 2 gallons of washer fluid for $5. That's pretty amazing. Additionally, we did have a flat tire one time, so I bought a plug kit. I actually had the plug kit already. But if you want to count that, let's say that's another $10. Again, likely would have happened also with an internal combustion engine vehicle. But in 40,000 miles, let's say we spent $15 in maintenance. To me, that is absolutely incredible. Speaking of tires, let's talk a little bit more about that. I was really under the expectation that in 40,000 miles, I would have already had to replace the tires. As you'll see from the next video clip, that not only is not the case, but I think I may get close to 60,000 miles wear out of them similar again to what I would have gotten out of an internal combustion engine vehicle. Now I will admit the tires are probably slightly more expensive, but still, I think it's rather remarkable to get that much wear out of them on a vehicle like this, when the expectation and the reputation is that you'll go through tires much, much quicker. Let's take a look. So as you can see here, the tires certainly have wear on them, but here are the wear bars, and I'd say they've got maybe half a life yet. I'm not going to get 80,000 miles out of them, but if I could get 60,000 miles out of them, especially since we're going into spring and not winter, coming out of winter, I think not having to worry about snow anytime soon, hopefully, we should probably get maybe 60,000 out of them. I've rotated them twice. I haven't rotated them since. I may want to do that again. So these are the Continental tires that came with it. I happen to know a high-ranking executive at Goodyear who told me that they have recently redesigned a tire for electric cars in general, but they use the Tesla Model Y specifically as the target. So she's going to get me some discounted tires on those, so I'm very grateful for that. So that does it. Just to recap, in 40,000 miles over 1 year's time, we spent $15 in maintenance and repairs, $5 in washer fluid, $10 for a tire patch kit. I also did rotate the tires a couple times, but I did that myself, so it didn't cost anything. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and what you think you would have spent for similar driving in 1 year's time. Well, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Always remember to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content. Thank you.